you search for humic acid on Amazon, you're getting like 500 results, all sorts of things, granular humic acids through ones that are definitely been liquefied in the jug. If I'm sourcing this and I'm a newbie, I'm looking at this. My first thought is, what's the difference? There's tons of them here. They all have, crazy logos and all sorts of jargon associated with them. Having worked in the industry, being on the board of the industry that promotes these substances, how do you, as a consumer, differentiate between quality so you know what you're getting?
So the answer is much more complicated on the fulvic side than the humic side. And we'll get into that in detail if you want. But
Sure. Yeah. Let's take the humate side first.
the humic side, I'll give you an example. So we sell a humic acid called Liquid 6. You can see it there on Amazon. The Liquid 6, that same product, I split the sample into 4 different samples and I sent it to 4 different labs. Now, there's actually multiple tests out there for humic substances. So if I was a new consumer saying, okay, I want to learn about this, the biggest problem you're going to run into is there's no standardization in testing. And when you buy a bag of nitrogen fertilizer, that nitrogen fertilizer has a standard across all 50 states. With humic substances, that isn't the case yet. So that split sample that I sent off to 4 different labs, it came in 14%, 7.5%, 6.5%, and 0%, but 9% fulvic acid. That was the same product. That was one product divided into 4 different jars and sent off to different labs. That's how broad of a range you can get. So, as if you were in the marketing department of some of these, humic acid companies, and you said, "Look, if we can go with the bigger number, we're going to get more sales." People are going to say, "Well, same dollar per. This one's at $5, this one's $5, and this one's 6%, this one's 12%. I'm going to buy the 12% because I'm getting twice as much active ingredient." And it could simply be that they're using a different test method, same product. So that's the biggest misrepresentation. Now, the Human Product Trade Association has gone through and developed a standard. It says the HPTA test method certified seal. It's kind of a diamond shaped seal, and it's green. What it does is it tells the consumer when you flip over that bag, you see that seal, and all of a sudden you don't have to be a humic acid test method specialist. You can just look at the bag and say, it's got the seal. There we go. Because the problem in some of these tests is like ash content, for example. Some tests do not remove the ash. So when you acidify a humic solution and you go to weigh it and measure it, those suspended clays that are in there come with it. And so when you analyze it, those suspended clays get measured with the humic value. When you subtract the ash, those suspended clays are then removed, and you get a true humic value. That's what the HPTA test does. So it puts everybody on the even playing field and removes some of those impurities that were being measured as a humic and fulvic acid. So from a consumer standpoint, to directly answer your question, look for the seal. That's the number one thing you can do is look and say, this one's a HPTA test method seal. You can go to the HPTA certification website, scroll down the list, you'll see a list of manufacturers and who are certified. That's the quickest and easiest way to do it. Now, this certification program is just barely being launched. So you're not going to see that many products being out there. But as this becomes more of a thing and more adoption, because this was just barely released, you're going to see more and more of these seals out there, and then just look for the seal. That's going to be the number one thing a consumer can do to inform themselves.
Okay, let's come back to the fulvic acid part in a minute. So I'm not going to say the brand here, but here's one popular. And it says naturally occurring, unadulterated, oxidized lignite occurring 50% total humic acids, crushed, screened, and graded to particle size of 1 to 3 millimeters. When you hear something like that, does that seem normal?
For me, yeah. But crushed and screened, it's just a raw material that's been crushed and screened, and your SGN size is a measurement in millimeters. So an SGN for a golf course might be like, fairways 150 to 250. So that's 1.5 millimeter to 2.5 millimeter. So yeah, that's a normal industry product.
But if it says something like 50% total humic acids, that's normal? Like, what's the other 50%?
Right. So the 50% could be other organic acids that don't test as humic. So it could be human. The things that's the problem is you're not measuring all the active ingredients there. And I had a regulator once ask me, Russ, are you throwing the baby out with the bathwater here? And the answer is maybe. We don't know the active ingredient. If you went to the International Humic Substance Society meeting, it's going on right now in Chile. And if you said, we know exactly what humic acid is, we know exactly what's our active ingredient, oh, that room would just laugh. And they would, because you have you got these categories of organic acids that we're just barely figuring out what they do and how to measure them. So, yeah, that 50%, it just gives you an idea that this should be a credible product that has a certain amount of material in there that is beneficial. The other 50% could be organic acids, it could be clays, it could be minerals. It's just not measured as humic acid.
And you're involved in the industry pretty deeply. Do you have a sense of how trustworthy it is? Like, are most brands on the up and up, would you say? I mean, you're not gonna know everyone, I get it, but
For the longest time, and when we started as a founding member back in 2010, I hate to say it, but there was some snake oil salesmen out there. Anything that was black was a humic substance. The problem is still persisting in the fulvic acid industry. So the problem with the fulvic acid industry is the test, and we're working on fixing that. But right now, the test is only looking for specific markers because these organic acids are hard to identify, right? The best example I can give you of the problem is this. Imagine I had two glasses in front of me. They were both one was full of grape juice, one was full of wine. And I told you these products are exactly the same. They both come from grapes. They're red. These are the exact same products. And if you had a drink of one and then the other, and you were expecting wine and you got grape juice, you'd be like, this is completely different. You know, the process of fermentation where the microbes convert those sugars to alcohols is meaningful to the wine drinker. The same thing is true in the fulvic acid industry. A lot of these inputs are being sold as fulvic acid because they trick the test. So you're seeing corn steep liquor, lignosulfonates, soybean extracts. There's even some paper pulping wastes that are being sold as um, fulvic acid. And they've not gone through that microbial degradation. And that microbial process, just like the fermentation process in making wine, makes that product different. So the problem is in the test. Anything that can be tested as fulvic acid is automatically fulvic acid. So we had one of the regulators, they were kind of joking and they ran a bunch of things through the column just to test and see what, faked the test as fulvic acid. And things like malathion we're actually testing as fulvic acid. Now imagine if somebody was just selling malathion and claiming it as being 80% fulvic acid, how problematic that would be for the industry. And then that's really what's going on is anything that tests as fulvic is getting sold as fulvic. So I think your bigger problem in the industry, if you were to say, Russ, where are the bad players? It's in the fulvic side. The humic side is fairly, it's as we get the tests removing the ash content, and that's the biggest problem in the humic test is the ash content. That will help standardize our humic industry. But the fulvic industry is really problematic because they're selling things that aren't even humified as fulvic.
I think for like granular, if somebody's selling humic acid, that there's a pretty good chance at this point that you're at least getting that.
Yeah, absolutely. The granular products, the only real difference, as I mentioned earlier, is some people are selling a granulated product that is raw materials, not been had any hydroxides added to it. And some are selling granular products that have hydroxides added to it. And really in your mind, you need to look at those products as a liquid because, they have the rates are lower. And the reason their rates are lower is because they're trying to get that product to act like a biostimulant. They're really not trying to build soil organic matter or anything else with those soluble granular humates. That's basically a granulated form of a liquid. It's not a granular product designed to build soil organic matter.
What about the liquid forms that it's sold in? Is that pretty standardized process where you're getting, I guess you're not buying a bunch of water?
Yeah. So the thing with humic is it has a real high cation exchange capacity, as I was mentioning. Um, but what happens is they get too crowded against each other and they start sticking to each other. And so you start making your solutions too strong and you just get a big old blob. You won't even get a liquid anymore. So anything above 12, you've really got to scratch your head and say, hmm, yeah, they might be having a little extra ash content in there or something else. But these high numbers beyond 12 it's really hard to get and not have a viscous liquid that's just so reactive. It's like Caro syrup or something. You just can only put so much sugar in a jar before it's not a liquid anymore.
Yeah, and just it's interesting when you start digging into this, all the different sources and things. So again, going back to the background behind you, is it as simple as break it up, scoop it up, screen it, bag it up?
For yeah, so interestingly enough, when we make our fulvic acid, people ask us, how do you make your fulvic acid? And I say it's a really complicated process. We take the ore, we put it in the tanks, we add water. And they're like, so what else do you add? And we're like, nothing. If you have a good quality ore, that's all you need to do is make your fulvic. Now, some people will add all these different acids and citric acid, and you know, it really depends on the quality of your ore. But yeah, our raw material, our Humate soil conditioner that you see there on Amazon, that's just raw ore that's been screened and granulated. And there's nothing being added in the granulation process but water. So it's you couldn't get more pure than that unless you want to come dig it out yourself.